Hi, this is Matt Lawton on the Astrological Winds channel and looking at the week ahead of going from February 16th to about the 23rd. And the 16th actually being yesterday, there were two big events that change or shift the energy a lot. The first of which I'm sure a lot of you are aware of, is Mercury went retrograde again. And as I mentioned last week, retrograde in Pisces, where Mercury is actually at its weakest in the sense that Mercury does not function as it normally would like to function in Pisces very well. And so going retrograde in Pisces will definitely add to the level of the retrograde energy. And as you may well know, when Mercury goes retrograde, we can expect things to more or less go awry. Like, a lot of our plans are not going to work out the way we want them to. So it's not a time to actually try to initiate a lot of energy. It's more of a time to withdraw within and look at what's gone on the last, say, 10 weeks or so, and process a lot of that internally more than externally. And when we try to push things in the outside world during Mercury retrograde, we're going to find out that a lot of the results that we want are not going to be what we get. So you can expect delays, you can expect, all kinds of different issues that come up and make the situation more difficult to deal with, and having to adjust the reality to that. Now, in Pisces in particular, I think what we're going to get is a lot of confusion on an inner level, where we're just kind of feeling like a lot of emotions pushing our intellect around, and therefore it's best to kind of just not make serious decisions at this time. It's more like kind of just allow things to flow through you and feel out what you think may be the best plan in a few weeks of approaching things. And also on a more mundane level, like in your interactions in the world, and just the things that Mercury rules, like communication and transportation, things like that, are going to be things where you'll see this Pisces energy come through too. So I think a lot of the myths and disinformation that we're getting through different various media forms will be at a peak level during Mercury retrograde, where it'll be really hard to decide who's telling the truth, who's deceiving us, who's lying to us. And that can also go over into our personal lives too. It can be difficult maybe to deal with people at this time if they're being secretive or covert about their behavior, not really speaking up about what is really going on inside them emotionally, and therefore getting really a hard time trying to figure out what to do in relation to them. So yeah, that goes through March 9th, and of course, right around the 9th is when it stations direct again, so the energy will be really strong around then again, and will flow a little bit into the next week or so even. So, and Mercury will remain, it'll go back into Aquarius actually for a little bit towards the end of the Mercury retrograde period, but mainly will stay in Pisces, and therefore go back through Pisces in March and probably a little into April. So we've got a long time of Mercury spending time in Pisces, a sign, like I said, that it's weakest in the sense of its normal functioning. Now, great for creative, imaginative, inspiring type of work on an artistic level, work with art, things like that. Also, spiritual kind of downloads through words is a good use of the Mercury and Pisces and retrograde. Maybe getting some inspiration from some like spiritual writings and meditating on what that means would be a good example of that. Now, the other big shift that happened yesterday, Sunday, the 16th, was Mars going into Capricorn, where it's really strong. Mars in Capricorn is exalted, and the analogy I like to use of Mars in Capricorn is the conqueror. Okay, not so much the sense of the king, but like the conqueror. So someone who comes in and with a lot of power and action and in a very strong position and takes over. So that's the kind of energy that Mars in Capricorn will bring. And it favors those who are already kind of in power, because like in order to have that kind of strength, you have to already be in a position of power to be able to be what we would call a conqueror. So it does favor those who are already in authority or power and their ability to maintain that power at this time, during that time period, which will be a couple months or so. On a personal level, it's Mars in Capricorn is really good to drive us forward. We are really like motivated and ambitious right now, and a lot of that energy gets put into career type things. So there's a lot of good self-control and self-discipline type energy available to take actions in the career type area and just get really practical about it. Also, the best use of that like conquering energy too is to like download or like focus that energy, concentrate that energy on like a cause that you believe in, and and hopefully that like coincides with like career or social or public type of areas that you interact in. So Mars in Capricorn, like I said, will continue to help those who are in power already, but on a personal level, we can really use that to get our motivated about the things that we're ambitious about. The rest of the week, the sun does join Mercury in Pisces on Tuesday, the last third of winter in the northern hemisphere and summer in the southern hemisphere. So once again, just like adding to the Pisces energy of just that, can add to like what on an individual level can be kind of like a confusing or breaking down of barriers, but like really looking for a spiritual inspiration, creative inspiration, looking for ways to escape the harsher reality of the physical reality of what's going on. So like that can be taken to negative levels of like, escapism, or can be taken to like spiritual and meditative levels of like acceptance and where things are going, and like continuing to find faith and hope in a world of like maybe confusion at times from the Pisces energy. Like it's a unifying energy, and it helps us to see all of the energy that unifies and pulls things together. That as the week goes on, there'll be a shift in energy late in the week, in particular Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next weekend, the 21st, 2nd, and 3rd. We're going to get a lot of Uranus energy coming in, and the first thing will be Mars in Capricorn, strong, trining Uranus in Taurus. So this is like, a lot of inspiration, a lot of an ability to shine in our own individual way, and to like not upset things by being so individualistic that we become like we rock the boat too much or shake things up too much. So we like find a lot of inspiration, find a lot of an ability to like move forward and, reach for our own freedom and independence and things that inspire us, and be able to take actions. And we're also supported by a sun sextile Uranus on Saturday, which is very similar energy to that, like just really like wanting to push things forward that we believe in, and like kind of getting out on the cutting edge of things, and like introducing some new things, like even starting new projects, new initiatives, new things that get us excited, or all. And then we have a new moon coming up on Sunday, which I'll talk about more in detail next week, but that is also sextile Uranus. It's a new moon in Pisces, sextile Uranus in Taurus. So once again, like it looks like next weekend be a really good time, even though we got the Mercury retrograde going on, to take initiative on things that we've already like kind of like got our hands or toes dipped into already, and like really get some inspiration, get fired up from them, feel like we can like really contribute in an individual way, in a way that is inspiring to us, and is and self-determining, and has us feeling good about ourselves. So that energy is very dynamic next weekend. So it's a really good time to do that, despite the Mercury retrograde thing. And and it is definitely individualistic when you think Mars, Sun, Uranus. Those are really three planets that can be individualistic, but it's not aspects that are like tension aspects. It's more just like, I'm ready to move ahead and I can do this, and you'll probably find the right people to connect with as you're doing that, and be able to work harmoniously with them. And if not, you can carry the day. The energy that is available to you will allow you to carry the day. All right. Well, until next week, I will be checking out on Astrological Winds channel here, Matt Lawton, and anybody who needs any readings, available for all types of readings. Email is Matt, MATTHUE 823 @gmail.com. Thanks so much. Namaste.